What is up? It is Monday, February 10th, 2025. Little after 4 in the afternoon. And I'm a bit low energy. I'm kind of tired, but I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually feeling kind of awesome. If it wasn't so windy and kind of cold outside, I might have even recorded this going for a walk. I want to do more of that. I want to kind of find a way to make the vlogs a little bit more interesting. Just even in terms of just what's being filmed behind me, or I don't know. It's not that big a deal, but I feel like, especially like if I'm filming one when I'm out of the house, I don't want to always just have to do it in my car, but I don't know. I guess it's not that big a deal. These are meant to be sort of straightforward and not too involved when it comes to the production of it or anything like that. But yeah, I had a pretty good week this last week. I have been slightly struggling in terms of feeling, I don't even know, just balanced and like I have an equilibrium just in terms of my mood and stuff. I quit weed recently, at least for the time being, mostly to save some money, but also because I think I was using it a little bit too much, and also to just make sure that I'm giving myself the best chances, as I'm currently on the job hunt right now, and I wouldn't want that to be something that costs me an opportunity. But I am finally getting to that point where I'm really beginning to see the benefits of just remaining positive and making an effort to keep moving forward, no matter how many times I make a mistake or how many times I get frustrated and feel like things are moving too slowly, or that I'm maybe having a bad day and experiencing a lack of confidence, right? Like, just kind of even when I've had a bad day, like I have in the last few weeks, I'm not allowing that to sort of encompass my entire being and bleed into every facet of my life day after day, and allow myself to kind of regress and shut down when I'm maybe having a moment of self-doubt or just a bad mental health day, you know? And it's interesting because, I mean, I think a lot of us experience frustrations when it comes to the incremental improvements that may occur in our lives when we're really trying to get something done or just grow as a person in general. I feel like a lot of times it can end up feeling like it is slower than we might have wanted it to be. And that alone can lead to frustrations. And in the past, and even sometimes now, I've struggled with looking back and getting upset with myself for choices that I may have made, and looking back at past years and kind of beating myself up for not having made different choices and not having sort of just been better in order for my life to be in a better place now, you know, looking back and being like, oh, look how much time I wasted. Look, you know, think about Where could I have been if I just got it together all that time ago? And that's not really helping anybody. That's not really useful, right? All it does is eat up time and energy obsessing over something that can't be changed. And I'm certainly not someone who thinks that you shouldn't look at your past at all, right? Like, I don't think it should be entirely ignored, because there's a lot to learn from your past. And also, you have to look back to your past and give yourself credit for the positives, give yourself credit for the wins. You can learn both from your failures and your successes, but you have to do it in a healthy way. And you can't dwell, and you can't find yourself consumed by it to where you really are just spending all your time living in the past, or even running away from your past. And so now that we're into February of the new year, and I had a lot of ideas and goals and a vision for how I wanted 2025 to go. And right out of the gate, I feel like I stumbled and wasn't getting the things done that I wanted to. And it wasn't even that I wasn't getting anything done. It just, I had all these ambitions, all of these goals, and an idea of how I could lay it all out, plan it all out, and it didn't go that way. And it was a lot harder for me to get things done than I wanted it to be. But despite that, I kept moving forward. I kept trying to do the things that I said I wanted to do, even if the timeline had shifted, even if I had to adjust how much I was doing and how I was tackling things. I have somehow managed to get up almost every day with a renewed sense of motivation, telling myself, like, we're out here again. It's a brand new day, and we can get something done. We can make progress. And even though a lot of my progress has been incremental and small, it's progress. I can see the progress. I can feel it. I can look back on just the last month and be like, I've grown. I've done things. I've accomplished things. I actually have accomplished multiple things that I wanted to do this year so far. And even though it wasn't as much as I wanted it to be, I'm realizing that maybe my timeline and my expectations were a little bit too ambitious. And even that isn't that bad of a thing. It can be bad. It is certainly something to be aware of. But like, I think the idea was there. It's like, I think it's only bad to have enormous expectations if they become so daunting that it puts too much pressure on you, and the weight of these expectations are like causing inaction within yourself, and you feel too much pressure to even do anything. Whereas, like, I don't think that's quite where I was at. It was just, I didn't really sort of understand the reality of where I'm at, and the gap between where I'm at and where I want to get to, and how I need to cut myself some slack when it comes to learning and growing, and that things take time, and things that you've never done before, things that are really hard, are going to be challenging, and are going to require a lot from you, and it might take longer than you expect, and that's okay. And this is really weird, because I'll just say it, I feel fucking awesome right now. Like, I feel like I'm actually killing it. I've been going on more walks than I ever have. I actually got up today at the time I wanted to. I got the things that I wanted to get done today. I've been getting better with procrastination. I've been getting better at just doing more. And a large part is I've given myself things to look forward to and get excited about, whether it's trying to make a little piece of art every day, or getting back into streaming like I have been recently. It's like I actually want to get out of bed in the morning. I actually wake up. I woke up today. I'm like, man, I didn't wake up late. I didn't sleep in. I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted to, but I got sleep. I wasn't dead tired or anything. And I was able to get out there, go for a walk. I did some laundry. I did some art. I uploaded a podcast. And it's just like, it's not even to say that I've never had a day where I accomplished a lot of things, but I'm not sure if I've had a day where I accomplished so many things for me, things that nobody else was telling me to do, things that I want to do, and are things that, goals that I have. It's not for school, it's not for work, it's not for somebody else. It was just for me, and it felt so good. I feel so good right now. And don't get me wrong, I know that everything isn't going to be sunshine and rainbows from here on out, but I can see the path. I can see myself continuing to grow and continuing to achieve and set new goals and challenges for myself. And it's been a long journey to get here. It really has. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without so many awesome people in my life. And honestly, I think one of the most significant realizations that has led me to start living my life the way I want to is the realization that you can't do it all alone. Even when you have things that are just for you, even when you feel like you're doing a bulk of the work by yourself, it's about the support, it's about the love, it's about the people in your life wanting to help you any way they can. And that can be in a direct way of literally sitting down and working on a project with you, or it can just be a reminder of, hey, these people love you. These people want the best for you. And it can be something as simple as sharing your growth, sharing your progress with a friend, with a family member, and allowing that to help you feel good about yourself. When they say that they're proud of you, that it's so small. It's just a few words, and it can mean so much. And when I was really depressed, all I wanted to do was avoid people. I didn't want people to see me that way. I didn't want people to know that I was hurting, that I wasn't doing well. And that regression from society, from people, from life was killer. It destroyed me. It was the worst decision I could have made. And it was only in coming back and going on a family vacation to Alaska and just kind of, in a way, being forced to be around my family for an extended amount of time, where it's like, holy shit, I have been living my life wrong. It snapped me out of my depression. I had been in such a dark place for so long. And I don't want to make light of people who struggle with chronic depression, or even act as though I am overblowing the depression I had. I am very sure that I was dealing with some severe depression, and I only truly know the extent of it after having come out of it. My situation was very circumstantial, and it was just a mindset in a place in life. I hated school, and I just didn't know what I was doing with my life. And it was just this fog, this sea of feeling like garbage. And I just, like, when we went to Alaska, we had a trip. I won't get into it. Some of the details are kind of personal, and I don't really want to talk about all of it. But just being with my family, I was like, man, sometimes the simplest things, the most straightforward, basic ass shit is the most important and the most valuable. And I was there with my family, and I just let it wash over me. And it just like, it was truly like a light switch. It was just, and it didn't fix my life. I wasn't all of a sudden able to just be awesome, right? That was like 3 years ago that we went on that trip. And it's only now that I'm really beginning to excel in the things that I want to be doing. But it was the beginning. It was the start. I needed to look at the world differently and come out of that depression. And, you know, I know that everyone's situation is different, and that isn't, you know, that sort of event that occurred in my life was very specific to me, but it changed my life. And I appreciate and have gratitude for things in a way that I never did before, really. And, you know, I don't know if there was necessarily an end point that I had to that. It was just more to share that experience, and to just, yeah, just me looking back on where I've come from and how I've grown, and that true turning point in my life. And I don't know, I guess I'll wrap this up by saying, if there's anyone watching this that's going through a difficult time, just keep going. Just keep the spark alive, however small, and believe that things can get better, because they can. The only way that hope truly dies is when you cease to believe that better days are possible. And that it's really hard for some people. Some people are going through this shit and they can't see a way out. But there is no shortage of people out there who are kind and accepting and want to help as many other people around them, whether it is their friends and family or just random strangers. They're, you know, especially with, you know, things going on in politics, or even just like climate change. There's so many things to be afraid about and sad about and bummed about. But I think ultimately, at the end of the day, people are good, and it isn't any way to live to be worried about everything, even when there's a million things to worry about. There will always be a million things to worry about, and you just need to take that time to really just be grateful and have faith that things can be good. And I think that's a great place to start, and something to hold on to. So yeah, happy Monday, and I'll see you again next week.